but I got to run pretty soon.
What school do you teach at again?
I teach at Cerritos College in California. It's a community college. That's where I teach.
So you didn't happen to have a car, did you?
You know, I'm embarrassed. I always take these cars and I run out of them.
Oh no, you're a busy guy. Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta hold them for me.
Yeah, sounds good. But I'll look it up too. Cerritos. How do I spell that?
Cerritos. Cerritos.
Little mountains or something? Is that
Cerritos. So,
Okay.
.edu because that's a school.
Whoa.
So you just Cerritos.edu.
Which California is that? I know there's two Californias.
We're in the Southern California.
Yeah.
That's the California.
There's actually three of them. But, yeah. The more north you get, there's like Southern California. Then there's like Southern California to San Francisco, Central California.
Yeah.
And then San Francisco north is like the sticks.
Yeah.
There's like nothing up there except for pot growers.
I had never been up to Northern California before last year when I went to Sacramento to buy a car.
Yeah.
And where I went to buy the car was actually outside the city. And I could tell that I had definitely left what I had known to be California because there was tractors, there was people, like just things I had never pictured as California.
It's very agricultural.
Yeah.
It's an agricultural state.
Could we come to the car if he just wants to sit in there?
Sure. As long as you just go on to turn it off.
Did you ever get a picture together?
No.
Just curious.
Little bits here and there.
This is Horizon City News. He's mine. He's mine. This
How you doing,
is
sir?
Andre.
I'm Jim. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
He's a friend me, like Anthony.
Gotcha.
Right. So he's about to stop his car real quick and introduce you.
I'm John.
How you doing, Judd? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. This is
Jim.
Okay. How you doing?
Do you have your card on you again?
I've been looking for. Jim has the card.
The only reason you can't find it is because you're a busy guy.
Well, I'm all over the world. That's the problem.
Yeah.
People keep asking for my card. So
How do you do that as a teacher, as a professor?
I got a couple of grants to do that, but yeah, I'm actually doing a little documentary on the border, and we've been filming around the border for about 18 months off and on. So we have a lot of footage and stuff like that. But anyway.
So Jim might not want to be filmed on camera.
We can just do straight up audio.
Yeah. I'm just right now because I don't know enough about everybody.
Yeah, we'll just get it. Just I can ask a real quick question. We were laughing because I tried to find you guys yesterday. I have a number. I don't know if it's an old number, but I get a guy who's telling me we were here, and we're like, where are they? I think we're in the right place. And we were sitting in a restaurant. And when I stopped looking for you, I found you.
Yeah.
So is in there.
Yeah.
So
How fortuitous is that?
so we good?
I need a mic.
Well, that's all.
We can do it right here in the car?
I think.
What's the quick question you wanted to ask?
Well, I should say a couple quick little things out there, because that's okay.
It's up to him.
No, yeah, we won't put you on video. if you don't want to
Why
do
don't you
video.
tell him what the questions are first?
Yeah, ask me, what are you going to ask me?
Well, I think I talked to her about this. What do you think? There's a lot of people that like what you do, and a lot of people that obviously hate what you do and don't like it. What is it that you think, or what do you do that you think the world ought to know? What do you stand for? Why do
He
we
did
care?
ask me that.
Okay. I don't mind answering that.
Well, I appreciate it because it's hot where I'm standing.
Right.
Just saying.
Oh, that's a great backdrop. The perfect backdrop for this article. Second, get set up.
So I think, what you told me in the interview, like I said, it takes a while to process information, but I think you got me thinking, and I think that's always a good sign, and maybe just giving a different perspective than the perspective, that other people hear. I don't make any bones about it. I'm a liberal.
Right.
But my point is, I just want to find out and not have misinformation or I want to know what somebody stands for, and then I'm not one person that the people that are the judges can be the judges. They'll come up and do it. But
Objective.
Well, as long as you didn't go up and tweak it and edit it and make it what the people didn't say, you
Which
know
is
what.
what most of the time they do.
Well, and I don't have any desire.
Yeah, right.
I'm a history professional, doctor.
Gotcha.
You know, that's
Okay.
that's my deal. But
Right.
I just like, you know, I said if I went back to my students, which I will on Monday, and I say, hey, Dr. Haas, what was it like out there? You know, they all know I'm in a. And I said, well, what do you want my students to know? You know,
Right.
what do you want to know about what it is that you're doing, what you're studying? Yeah, so that's kind of my question. I think, what would you like my students of the world to know about your particular organization?
Well, number one, we're not a militia. We're not a group of armed vigilantes. That was mischaracterized by the news. They were told repeatedly that we were just a group of volunteers, that some of us were veterans, some of us were law enforcement, and we came down here to volunteer because we felt that the Border Patrol down here was overstrained. And through that process, we were doing similar to what you guys are doing right now, trying to get information, trying to document exactly what was happening. And it exploded into what I call probably one of the biggest fake news articles that's out there right now. It was done primarily by the ACLU. They don't even know who we are, but they decided it was their position to go ahead and start labeling us and calling us a radical right-wing bunch of whacks and nut jobs. And what they didn't realize was that the people that have been down here were only together for 60 days.
Wow, so just 2 months here?
Yes, exactly. We don't know each other.
Wow.
Exactly. And, you know, they started this thing with the human wall. The people that are actually what you would call the United Constitutional Patriots, they were just basically a group of people that, you know, did a radio show, talked about the border. Johnny, the guy that got arrested, the 70-year-old man, now he had previously, from what I've been told, tried to help out on a different part of the border back in 2015. Now, none of us that are in this group now, we knew nothing about that. We came down here just as citizens. And the other thing that a lot of people don't know is that we have Latinos in our group, we have Native Americans, we have a variety of different people, women, men, different ages. And so, you know, when I look at the news and I look at what people have been told about us, it's comical because we read it, we see it, we were there, we did the interview, and they choose to create their own story because I don't know if it's for sizzle, if they're trying to test to see what the American resolve is. But as an example, the ACLU wrote that letter. That's when things really went crazy. There was a New York Times reporter who had called me and done it and had asked me similar to what you're asking me. Who are we? What do we do? What are you guys doing out there? And I answered him the same way I'm answering you right now. The only difference is when he wrote his article, he included that we were holding people at gunpoint. Now, you can probably look around you here right now. There's not a lot of Border Patrol. Down there where the wall ends, shortly over there is where we had our camp. Okay? Our camp was there for a reason. Most of the time what's happening right now is Border Patrol's getting hit through different sectors in here. And when they get hit, they're getting hit with sometimes groups of 30, sometimes groups of 60. And so what happens is now you've got to take these Border Patrol out of the field and they've got to process these people, take them to processing. It's usually 2 hours per person that they spend getting the background information to find out, can we determine if this guy's really from where he says he is? Is this a real family unit? Is it a fake family unit? It's a process. And even that process isn't perfect because you have a processing facility here that's only designed for 4,000 people. Well, there's over 20,000 people in there and a very limited Border Patrol. So their actual job, which normally would be to protect the border for national security interest, they're not able to do it. They're busy driving people to appointments. They're dropping people off at the airport. They're running people here and there. And the difference between this and past immigration crises is that, you know, typically we had what I would say the majority were real asylum seekers. We had people coming from one country that was identified as a problem area. What we have now is all 50 countries. We're not just getting groups of one variety. These are coming from all 50 countries, and a lot of the countries are not in a crisis. A lot of them are not. They would never make it in a hearing for what you call credible fear.
Right.
And so the other side, so on one side, you have a humanitarian crisis, and that is, you have 10% is what the CBP reported for actual numbers of asylum seekers. 10%, that's it, that would actually make it if they were to get in front of a judge, okay? The rest is a mix of child trafficking. Because of our laws, we have monetized children. And how we've done that is that we have made our laws so that if a man and a wife show up at this border, after they've given big bucks to the cartel to get here, the cartel now says, well, if you got a child, they're not going to let you out. You might even get some more money because of that. So now what they're doing is they're renting children. And sometimes the children get rented way down the road. Sometimes they get stolen. Sometimes they're kidnapped. And up until recently, we've been trying to tell people this since we've been here, that this is going on. But up until recently, there was no photographs being taken of the kids. There was no fingerprinting. There was no DNA matching going on. So it was a shoo-in. As long as you checked out as an adult, it's your kid. And when you're gone, you're gone with that kid. Same thing as when people would send little babies up here. They'd write their phone number on their onesies. And basically what they would do is just leave them there. Here's a number, here's a phone number. Call this number, and whoever comes to get the baby, that's who gets the baby. And so what you're hearing from a lot of the people that don't seem to have a problem with this crisis is that these are all just a bunch of asylum seekers. We're Americans. We need to be taking care of these people. They're in need. And that's the lie. The lie here is that we are as Americans back. I don't care if you're left or right. We are backing and financing one of the biggest criminal enterprises and jeopardizing our national security at the same time. That's the lie that nobody wants to talk about with this. In addition to that, while we're dealing with these large groups of people and Border Patrol's tied up, the real criminals, the ones that normally they prevent from coming in, the drugs, the people that pay bigger money to get in here that shouldn't be here, they're just marching in. And so then people say, well, but did Border Patrol ask you to come here? That's a common question we hear all the time. And here's the reality. The president declared a national emergency. A lot of people hate the president. So because of that, they refuse to look at the issue here. And I've even had some people from the left who didn't understand the issue until they actually came down here and saw it for themselves. And but because it was a crisis, my original reason for coming down here was to explore it. What is the crisis? What's the problem? What's going on here? And what I realized is that, we have a border patrol that can't do its job. We have a border that's unsecured. Wall alone isn't going to fix the problem. Okay, there's areas where you see where there's a wall here.
We went down.
You're not going to have a group of 200 people get through this wall, and they don't need to. There's plenty of open area they can walk across. So all this argument about technology and we're going to dig tunnels, they don't need to. Those conversations and debates that people have are so stupid. Okay, wall works. Okay, the cartel, they're not going to get a bunch of ladders. Okay, you can see how easy it is to patrol a wall. You can sit up there you go. But if they get off into the mountains, forget about it. Okay, so so what we came down here really to do was to be the eyes and ears, to observe and report. Okay, now when they come through the border, they don't know where they're going. The coyote says run, and a lot of times they're running. Okay, what we try to do before somebody gets hurt, okay, carrying a baby in their backpack, running through this stuff, falling down, which we've witnessed it happen. We've even had people collapse in our camp where we've had to give medical aid. They don't talk about that in the news, but it's on video. It's on my Facebook page. We've given water. If we're near water, we let them sit in our camp and we let them drink and do whatever. But the reality is, you got one guy over here, and we've had groups of 400 come in at night. There's no guarantee. And like last night, I did a video we had a group on the other side that went out into El Paso on the street. Half of that group was combative. 20 of them sat down, and this was the sheriff's department, this was El Paso Police Department, this was Border Patrol. We had 20 of them that were elbowing and swinging at the Border Patrol officers, didn't want to get caught. They were scattered all over the city. They were trying to jump trains. Okay, those are the groups we're concerned about as well, because those are the groups that they're not even trying to pretend a fake asylum. They're just coming across and saying, hey, we're going to blend in with the group that's sitting down, and you know, so
Sure.
there's a lot to this crisis. And as far as us as a group, I've come to the conclusion that they're going to call us whatever they want to call us. Okay, but at the end of the day, we're still here. Now, they arrested Larry Hopkins. Here's what they had to do to arrest him. This is very interesting. They couldn't find anything wrong. The governor said, you got to get those guys off the border, okay? So they did all their investigating. They went to the videos. Can we see anybody holding a gun? No, couldn't find it. So then they're like, well, are they breaking any city laws? No, not breaking any city laws. Are they kidnapping people? No, they're not kidnapping people. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, they needed a picture. And so what they did is they went back 2 years to 2017, okay? And apparently there was a report, I don't know the whole story, but someone had come out there and they basically, there wasn't enough evidence to charge the crime. But that was the only thing they had. So what they did is they came up here and arrested him. They didn't even have...
arrested here.
He was arrested here.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. I was there.
He wasn't arrested here.
Yeah, he was arrested right here. Sunderland police came and got him and drove him right down here to the
Took
FBI.
him for breakfast.
Yeah, to the FBI.
They took him for breakfast to the FBI.
Yeah, to the FBI.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to. Your
Yeah, go
story
ahead.
is your story is so fantastic, and I'm really torn. But I'm keeping a doctor real late.
Go right ahead.
No. I want to hear the end of this. But I got.
Yeah, no,
I don't
you're
want to be
good.
rude.
You're good.
Yeah, this
You
is
got lots
amazing
of footage there.
Yeah, but his so him getting arrested.
Him getting arrested, 2017. They arrested him without bail, and they had not yet had a grand jury indict him.
Mm-hmm.
They had the grand jury after the fact. He was then beat up in the courthouse or in the jail.
Yeah,
I got video of that. And then when he actually went to court for his bond hearing, there was a bomb threat that cleared out the courthouse.
Wow.
And since then, we've received death threats from the cartel and all kinds of stuff. So that's why I'm laying low profile right now. Our guys are still around here. We're still helping out. Videos are still coming out, but we're in danger right now because of this. So
I really want to thank you,
Yeah,
you know,
not a
for
problem.
taking the time to talk. And we'll be in touch,
Yes, sir.
right? So you got our information, Jim's card, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Card.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, not a problem,
So
guys.
fantastic.
Yep.
Very articulate. You're really good on
All of you
camera.
guys.
Yeah,
So I
very
wasn't
good.
going to give
Really
you that
amazing.
whole story. I figured if
Nice
he
meeting you,
wanted
sir.
to, he would.
Yeah.
Guys, great meeting you guys.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
God bless
I'm
you.
trying to compromise.
My business card is 4 words: Horizon City News Service.
You got it. I'll take it.
It's on YouTube.
Drop me a line.
Yes, I will.
And I did tell them it was Horizon City News Service too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, nice to meet you, sir. And
Hey, nice to
you have
meet
an
you, bud.
amazing
Jim,
story.
Andre.
Thank you.
Andre Jim.
So you do all the filming for these guys?
No,
Apparently
actually,
for today, but this
he
is...
does
yeah.
Horizon
Oh.
City News Service. But he's one of ours. He's a friendly.
Gotcha.
Him, I vouch for.
I deal with domestic issues. I've never
no.
dealt with international stuff like this.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said you're one of ours.
Yeah.
So that he would know I was vouching for you, that you're one of ours, that you weren't unfriendly.
I have problems with the police inside the country. I've never dealt with this international type of business.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the police don't like to be filmed by him, ever.
Oh,
And trust me, it's them who start the
Yeah.
escalating.
So
I don't just try to like antagonize
Horizon City
them.
News Service on YouTube, that's where you'll find them.
oh, okay.
Okay? Just like Anthony is Border
Yeah,
Network,
conservative.
Border
Right.
News Network.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
get it backwards.
Yeah.
So, but this is Jim Benvie.
Jim Benvie.
They're walking that way. She's had them out there for a while. They wanted to see where the no border wall was. I don't think
Why
they
did they
will,
drive?
because we didn't want to drive towards the bowl and have CBP get a little upset. As
Oh,
it
no.
was, we got to here and they came out right away.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and they know my truck. I mean, the other car they didn't know, but you know.
Right.
We brought everybody in 2 cars instead of a battalion of cars. We left everybody's cars elsewhere.
Gotcha.
So they're way down
I
there.
believe we can drive down to the bowl. It's just we're not allowed to go up
Yeah.
the top. Area underneath here where they can go underneath. Okay, get over on the ladder. And then they come across like here where I showed you guys these other tunnels. Okay? And things you should notice in this video, guys. What's missing from this picture? Anybody want to tell me, since we were kicked out of here? What's missing? Who hasn't been around since I started this video? You guessed it. Border Patrol. Why aren't they here? Because they're tied up in the processing center right now. They're processing people. They're taking care of other business. And God bless their hearts that they stick through this, because they're sure as heck not getting a lot of help from the governor here in New Mexico or any of the anti-border advocates who continue to maintain that there's nothing to see here, that there's no crisis. It's absolutely amazing. So, yeah, absolutely wide open. There's your wall, guys. Wide open. Anybody who wants to cross, come on in. See, and then they don't want us even stopping them, and they don't even want us detaining them. They want them to just come right on in. The railroad wants them to trespass. We're the evil militia. So it's all fake news, guys, but we're getting her done. I'm about to start my night here, so I'm sure I'll be back later on, but I wanted you guys to meet the people from Open Carry, Texas, and I promised I'd come down here and meet them at the wall. So anyway, I hope everybody's having a good day. I'll be back later on, guys. I don't know what tonight's going to bring, if it's going to be real busy or if it's going to be slow. But yeah, now because of the railroad, we're only really allowed to come up to about here. They don't want us up over the hill. So now if the illegals get up over the hill, there's nothing we can do about it. So, I'll talk to you guys later. This is Jim. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks for letting me trail you.
Yeah, no problem, guy. It's all good. Just be nice to me.
Oh, I have no agenda, so I mean,
Okay, good.
yeah, I'm not trying to. I have absolutely no reason to be mean to you.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Well, where are you originally from?
I'm from Minnesota.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I just felt like you might have been from somewhere else other than Wyoming.
Yeah, no, I'm not from Wyoming.
Yeah.